Hello and welcome to History and Facts, where we discover facts about days through the year. Please remember to like the video, comment and subscribe. Today we are looking at August 27th through the years. August 27th has many historical events and national days. Some of the national days include National Tug of War Day, National Banana Lovers Day, and in true millennial fashion, National Just Because Day. Well, we are all wrapped up here, so let's dive in with Number 1. The Samurai Rulebook. In 1232, the Kamakura Shogunate published the Goseibai Shikimoku, a legal code tailored for samurai. Until then, disputes were often settled with steel or persuasion. This code, consisting of 51 articles, introduced something novel: predictability. Hojo Yasutoki, the shogunate's regent, led its creation. The goal wasn't abstract justice, it was governance. Land holdings, inheritance rights, criminal offenses, all laid out in writing. Trials gained structure. Magistrates gained defined roles. Personal vendettas became legal matters. And the script mattered. The code wasn't drafted in classical kanji Chinese, the traditional language of elite legal documents. Instead, it used a mix of kanji and kana, traditional symbols with Japanese grammar or wabin, making it readable to those actually expected to follow it. Its influence quickly extended beyond samurai. Monasteries, nobles, estate stewards, all found its clarity useful. It was less about who wielded power and more about how power operated under law. Over time, this code formed the legal backbone for later systems, and helped carve the ethical silhouette of the samurai, even before the word Bushido was common currency. This wasn't the taming of warriors. It was the formalization of their world. Number 2. The 1st Maryland Regiment. It's 1776 and the Battle of Long Island. The Continental Army is in retreat, and the path to safety is narrowing. A strategic pause is needed, something to buy time. That's when the 1st Maryland Regiment steps forward. Newly formed, barely weeks into their commission, around 400 Marylanders move to hold off advancing British forces. They mount repeated charges. Not once, not twice, but 6 times, creating the breathing room Washington's troops need to reposition and escape. It's not the outcome that defines this moment, but the determination. Their action delayed pursuit, maintained order, and became one of the earliest examples of disciplined resolve in the young Continental Army. Later, historian Thomas Field called it an hour more precious to liberty than any other in history. This moment earned Maryland its enduring nickname, the Old Line State. Number 3. The Battle of Grand Port 1810. Off the coast of Mauritius, the British Royal Navy arrived in force, a troopship and 4 frigates, fast, nimble ships typically armed with 30-plus cannons. Perfect for escorting fleets, hunting down privateers, and asserting dominance. Ready to crush the remaining French resistance. These warships were the workhorse of naval warfare. On the other side, the French fleet, led by Captain Guy Victor de Perret, had other plans. With only 2 frigates, a corvette, and a captured East Indiaman, they couldn't win a head-on fight, so they didn't try. Instead, they leveraged intimate knowledge of the reefs and shoals around Grand Port. The French quietly shifted navigational buoys, tricking the British into sailing directly into dangerous, shallow waters. One by one, the British ships ran aground, trapped and vulnerable. Unable to maneuver, they became easy targets for the French, who struck with precision. By the end of the battle, 2 British frigates were scuttled, 2 captured, and the French emerged victorious. It's the only naval battle from the Napoleonic Wars commemorated on the Arc de Triomphe. The lesson? Strategy, terrain, and timing can sink even the most powerful fleet. Number 4. First jet-powered flight. While headlines warned of rising tensions across Europe, something quietly extraordinary happened at a small airfield in Germany in 1939. Test pilot Erich Warsitz climbed into a squat, unassuming aircraft, the Heinkel He-178. From the outside, it looked like any other high-wing monoplane. But beneath its shell, history was about to be made. Inside the fuselage sat the He's 3B turbojet, a completely new kind of engine, designed by Hans von Ohain. Instead of spinning a propeller, it compressed air, mixed it with fuel, and ignited it, generating thrust through high-speed exhaust. This wasn't just mechanical progress, it was the birth of something altogether different. Warsitz powered up, taxied down the runway, and took off. For 6 minutes, the He-178 flew loops over the airfield, fast, steady, and unusually quiet compared to piston engines. No propellers, no gear changes, just raw forward momentum from a smooth stream of jet propulsion. There were no journalists, no cheering crowds. But that silent flight marked the moment the jet age began. Aircraft would no longer be bound by propeller design. Speeds would soon exceed hundreds of miles per hour, altitudes would climb, and long-distance travel would enter an entirely new era. Number 5, Guinness Book of Records. It started with a hunt. In 1951, Guinness Brewery director Sir Hugh Beaver missed a shot at a bird and got into an argument about the fastest game bird in Europe. Nobody could prove it, and that's when the idea struck. What if there was a book filled with facts to settle debates? By August 27, 1955, the first Guinness Book of Records was born. It wasn't sold, it was handed out in pubs, laminated to withstand beer spills. But people loved it. Packed with oddities and brilliance, it included records like the red-breasted merganser, flying at 100 miles per hour, a 17-foot beard grown by Hans Langseth, the cheetah, sprinting up to 70 miles per hour, the tallest man, Robert Wadlow, at 8 feet 11 inches. What began as a marketing gimmick soon topped Christmas bestseller lists. And from there, the book went global, translated into dozens of languages, printed in hundreds of millions of copies. A simple idea sparked by a flying bird, and suddenly we had the world's most compulsively fascinating compendium of extremes. Number 6, 1956 Unlimited Power. Britain quietly entered a new era in 1956, not with fireworks, but with a flick of a switch. At a site in Cumbria, the Calder Hall nuclear power station became the first commercial nuclear plant in the world to generate electricity for a public grid. It wasn't just science fiction come true, it was engineering on a remarkable scale. Calder Hall's 4 reactors, known as Magnox units, used natural uranium fuel encased in magnesium alloy. The reactors were gas-cooled and graphite-moderated, pushing out 240 megawatts of electricity, enough to power tens of thousands of homes. This wasn't just about keeping the lights on. The design had a dual purpose, producing civilian energy, yes, but also creating plutonium for the UK's nuclear weapons program. Nonetheless, the nearby town of Workington became the first community in the world powered directly by nuclear energy. Construction had started in 1953 and finished in just 3 years, fast even by today's standards. Calder Hall ran for nearly half a century, shutting down in 2003. Its legacy? It proved that nuclear energy wasn't a laboratory concept, it was ready to power cities. A quiet milestone, but one that lit the way for an entire industry. Number 7, a close one. August 27, 2003, Mars paid Earth a visit, not literally, but astronomically. That night, the red planet came closer to us than it had in nearly 60,000 years, just 55.76 million kilometers away. For stargazers, it was a gift. Mars glowed brighter than Jupiter and appeared as a fiery dot in the night sky, visible even without a telescope. This wasn't just a pretty sight. Telescopes around the world zoomed in, capturing crisp views of Olympus Mons, the solar system's tallest volcano, and the southern polar ice cap, shrinking under Martian summer. NASA's Hubble Space Telescope snapped stunning images showing features like Syrtis Major and the eerie dark patch known as the Eye of Mars. Why so close? It was a rare alignment. Earth and Mars reached opposition just as Mars neared its perihelion, the closest point to the Sun in its orbit. That combination made this encounter unusually tight. And it won't happen again until 2287. For one night, Mars wasn't just a distant world. It was a neighbor, glowing red, full of mystery, and closer than it had been since mammoths roamed the Earth. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed your visit to History and Facts. If you did enjoy the video, or find it interesting, we have many more coming. So please like, comment, and subscribe to be notified when we release a new video. See you next time.